The forgotten waltz of Hollow Hill Park. The park had always been there, rotting at the edge of town like a wound no one dared to acknowledge. Locals called it Hollow Hill Park, though the hill itself had long since collapsed into a sinkhole, leaving behind a skeletal playground and a carousel swallowed by ivy. Kids dared each other to touch its rusted gates at midnight, but none ever did, not after what happened to the Miller twins. Amara didn't believe in ghost stories. She'd moved to the town for its quiet, its anonymity, and took up jogging through the park's outer trails at dusk. But one evening her phone died, the sun sank too fast, and she took a wrong turn. The path led her deeper, past signs warning condemned and no trespassing, until she stood before the carousel. It was still, silent, until it wasn't. A music box melody tinkled through the air, a warped, off-key rendition of Swan Lake. The carousel shuddered to life, horses jerking on broken poles, their painted eyes cracked in two hollow sockets. Amara froze. Between the horses, she glimpsed a figure, a little girl in a burnt yellow dress, skipping in circles. Her laughter was wrong, sharp and metallic, like nails dragged over glass. "You're late for the waltz," the girl sang, her voice echoing as if from underwater. Amara stumbled back, but the park had changed. The trees loomed closer, branches clawing at her jacket. The trail she'd followed was gone, replaced by a maze of overgrown hedges. Shadows pooled at their roots, thick and liquid. She ran, pulse roaring, until she burst into a clearing, a playground. The swings creaked in unison, though there was no wind. On the tallest slide sat a woman in a tattered ball gown, her face a smudge of ash. She pointed a skeletal finger toward the carousel. "They're waiting." Amara turned. The carousel was now crowded with figures, dozens of them, translucent and flickering. A man in a 1922 suit, a boy missing half his face, a woman cradling a melted doll, all staring, all smiling. The girl in yellow appeared beside her, cold fingers curling around Amara's wrist. "You shouldn't have forgotten us." Memories flooded Amara's mind, a fire. A charity ball a century ago, sparks from a chandelier igniting velvet curtains, screams, the park built over the ruins, the graves never moved. She'd read about it in the town archives, hadn't she? Skimmed the headlines about the Hollow Hill tragedy, but she'd laughed. Ghosts aren't real. The carousel spun faster, the music swelling into a scream. The girl's grip burned. "Now you'll dance with us, forever." Amara tried to pull away, but her legs moved on their own, marching toward the carousel. The figures reached for her, their hands cold and charred. As she stepped onto the platform, the park dissolved. The trees became stone walls, the carousel a grand ballroom consumed by flames. The townsfolk found her sneakers the next morning at the park's edge. They shrugged. Another runaway, another tragedy. But if you walk past Hollow Hill at dusk, you might hear it, the faint waltz of a music box, and a new voice among the choir of screams, and the carousel. "It's always hungry."